Welcome to CEO Corner. I'm Otis Rawl, and today I have with me Tim Timmons, the HR Director at the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. What we want to talk about a little bit today is the union election that happened at Vought. Tim, can you tell us a little bit what happened and why it is either good or bad for the business community?
I'll be glad to. I think the first thing to think about when you talk about Vought Aircraft and what happened last week is numbers, and that's what's got us concerned. There are about somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 or so members of the bargaining unit down there. And the problem I have, and the problem I think the State Chamber has for all businesses in South Carolina, is that a handful of employees at that location, out of those 150, signed a contract that now binds every employee there. Bottom line, the problem is you get 150 employees represented by the union, and we end up with a handful of people voting on a contract, and all of a sudden all 150 are basically bound by that contract.
Well, from a business standpoint, how should we address it and what should be our concerns in the future?
I think our concern basically is that the rights of employees. I know we represent businesses and will continue to represent the business environment and business in South Carolina, but our employees are important to us. The major asset of all our businesses are their employees. And when you have 150 employees who basically don't have a say-so in what the contract is just because they're not paying dues to a union, that's a problem.
Well, that leads right into another question, Tim. Seems like this really is kind of a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the Employee Free Choice Act if the unions go act like this, and this is how things going to be negotiated in the future.
The Employee Free Choice Act, or what I call the Employee No Choice Act, is going to have a dramatic effect on this because the numbers game, if you will, gets even worse. In Employee Free Choice Act, you wouldn't have a vote. At least at Vought, the employees had a chance to vote on whether or not to have the union there in the first place. Under Employee Free Choice Act, they wouldn't even have that right to vote. So they could never vote, have a union there, have a contract, and again, a handful of employees are bound the 150 people.
Well, Tim, thank you. And if anybody has any questions about what we just discussed today or have any questions about the election at Vought, please just give me a call or give Tim a call at the Chamber. And that number is 803-799-4601. 803-799-4601. Thank you, and we'll see you next week on CEO Corner.